Jared's on the line in Portland, Oregon. Jared, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, thanks so much for having me on the show. I listened to The Minimalist as well, and I was like, wait, is that Ken Coleman? So I appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Good to have you today.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So the reason I'm calling is that I could really use your help on getting clear on what I want to do and pursuing next steps towards it. Just some quick background to give you some context into my situation. I'm 45. In my early days, I used to spend like a lot of days, like 25, 30 years ago, writing in cafes, poetry. At that time, I jumped around from job to job trying to find what I wanted to do. Went to college, got a BA in psychology, but I decided to pursue writing and music. And then someone handed me a book on copywriting in 2006, and I fell in love with both the art and the science of it. Fast forward about 10 years later, I worked with a lot of big name ad firms and brands, did like 200 plus projects. But after going out on my own in 2018, I kind of fell out of love with copywriting and I needed a change. So I got into photography and made a switch in careers because a company hired me to do some freelance work for them. And I shot homes and interiors for about a year with them. And I really loved it. So I made the switch from copywriting to photography, but that freelance photography opportunity ended, and the past 2 years have really been a struggle just to make a living with photography. Yeah. Like my first year, I made 12 grand. This past year, I made
Ouch.
9 grand.
Ouch.
I just went through a divorce. I used up my 6-month emergency fund and just worked. Now I'm working a warehouse job that's not paying a lot of my monthly expenses.
Yeah, let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you this, and I want you to get to your question shortly. Hit me with what I can do to help the most. But what I want to do is I want to get clarity on when you made $12,000 and then $9,000. Were you working another job, or was that full-time freelance photography?
That was full. See, I might have made the mistake. I mean, I jumped in because I thought that initial opportunity was going to pay really well.
No, I understand. I understand why you did it and what you did, and that's okay. I want to know, were you doing anything else?
No, I wasn't.
Oh my gosh. That's like below the poverty level, 12,000 and 9,000. Okay. All right. So what's your question for me today?
Well, I mean, back up. I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, so the good news is I've been 100% debt-free for some time. I have a good chunk of money from a home, but I don't want to dip into that for monthly expenses. So now I just feel stuck on what I should do to bring in income that I need to pay my bills that won't drain me, and what I need to do next and how to find work that I truly love.
Well,
the one thing I feel like I don't.
Well, you got two questions there. The first question is, what do you do to bring in income? And I would say anything and everything, because we're in a situation now where we want to protect your nest egg, and we got to get your income up.
Right,
so I got to say kudos to you. You got the warehouse job. That's not the dream job, and you know what? That's fine. It's at least bringing in income and some stability. Yes or no?
Right. Yeah, and I'm trying to be grateful for that 100%.
And I think you are. So my question is, so that's the answer. We don't need to spend any more time on that. You do what you have to so you can do what you want to do. Okay? That's a line from The Great Debaters. Great movie. Now, the issue is, do you want to continue to do photography? And if I could guarantee you in this moment that you would be successful as a photographer financially, because I think you've already seen some success in the art form of it. But if I could guarantee that you would do everything you needed to do financially as a photographer, would you say, Ken, that's it, show me the way? Or do you want to do something else? That's what we have to find out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm trying to get clarity on, because I'm one of those kind of people that I'm really good at a lot of things, and that's kind of like the blessing and the curse, right?
It's not a curse. Okay. It's not a curse. I'm cutting you off because you're a guy that's thinking too much. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not saying that to criticize you. I'm trying to wake you up, right? This is me reaching through the phone here, through the camera, grabbing you by the shoulders and go, Jared, stop. Yeah. Stop thinking and start feeling. You're a creative guy, okay? That's the thread. Copywriting, any type of writing, poetry, all that kind of stuff. That's all creativity. You're a guy that needs to be creating, yes or no?
100%.
Yeah, right. So answer this question and stop thinking and let your heart answer, please. Here's the question, Jared. If I could wave my Ken Coleman Show pencil right here magically and give you a job, a career, a role where you knew you were going to be successful and you would not fail and it would allow you to create, what would you choose as a great adventure knowing I cannot fail and I get to try it out? What would you do?
I'd probably do something like travel photography.
Yeah.
I love traveling. I love
Okay. All right. So now we focus on that right there. And let's not feel like we're locking into that for 30 years. We're just trusting our heart right now, which is photography. Good news. You've done a lot of the work. So the stage that you're really in is, I think, you're in the get connected stage. I think you're already qualified. I think you're clear as stage 1. I think you're qualified as stage 2. Stage 3 is getting connected. I think you got to get connected really strategically and truly use the proximity principle, which you've heard me talk about. And I'm going to give you a copy of the book if you don't have it, okay?
Oh, yeah, I already got it.
Great. So here's the deal, bro. Who are those photographers? I give you the samples of the people. There's 5 archetypes of people in the book. So who is that professor in photography? Who is that peer that can just encourage you, whether in photography or not? Who is the professional that you look up to, or who are the multiple professionals that you can model your craft and your career, trajectory after? Who's the mentor that you need in your life to get you focused and keep you accountable? Who's the producer that could potentially hire you for a position where you are taking photos for them? So I think it's just a reset to go, hey, I know what to do financially. I know how to keep myself stable. If I got to up my game from the warehouse job to a better paying day job, that's fine. But I would do that. Right. And as you upgrade your day job, you get right back into photography. Now the $12,000 is extra money. Now the $12,000 or the $9,000, that goes back into the photography business. You don't have to live off of it. You live off the warehouse job or whatever else. And you get in a situation where you're constantly looking for opportunities that would allow you to travel and take pictures that will pay you what you need to make. Now, while you're looking for those and identifying those, or doing what it takes to get connected and thus get an opportunity to interview for those jobs, then you need to also be taking pictures anywhere and everywhere locally. And get fired up. Say, I'm going to make $15,000 in 2020 or $20,000 in 2020 taking pictures. And I'm going to start a Facebook page today, which is free. I'm going to open up an Instagram account today, which is free. I'm going to start putting my work out there. So you've got the book. I'm going to recommend one other book for you. You got my book, The Proximity Principle, so just do what I tell you to do. But I'm going to recommend another book. A book entitled Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. For creatives, I think it is an absolute must read. Go get it. It's a little teeny tiny book. I can read it in about 7 to 10 minutes. But it's just chock full of some very practical things you need to start doing to show your work. You just need momentum, man. That's it. And you just need to get connected. And momentum is actions. Connections are going to bring opportunities. That's why I wrote the proximity principle. Get around people that are doing what you want to do. And in places where what you want to do is happening. So that's photography, more specifically travel photography.